Hope everyone enjoyed the video as I was watching, and all the memories kind of came flooding back. It was quite a trip, and the song they sang there right at the end was probably one of my favorites that they would sing for us. As I thought about the things that I could share, again, so many things came to mind. I thought about, telling about some of the kids and what they would do as they saw our Land Cruiser go by, or thought about sharing about that hike that was mentioned over and over and over again. It really was maybe not quite as bad as everyone said, but it was pretty rough, pretty hard. Or about the boat ride that was again mentioned many, many times. And if you guys want to hear stories, any of us can tell you stories. We could talk and talk for hours and hours. But there were three things that I really wanted to share. I'll try to be quick, and hopefully I won't steal the other guys' things that they want to share. But the first thing, I have three things. The first thing was fellowship. Pastor Reese talked a little bit about us staying in Hanier for a little longer than we thought due to boating and such. But that really provided an opportunity for us to fellowship with the other people. There was Australians, I think maybe somebody from New Zealand, another U.S. person, and then some of the local people as well. And we were just able to fellowship with them. And it was such a great time to be able to just, every night we would have like a little prayer meeting or whatever, where we would share things, share a little devotion, and then talk about what we will be doing, and then be able to pray with everyone with us. And most of these people I had never seen before in my life. I didn't know who they were, and most of them I'd probably never see again. And yet we came together and just were able to spend such a great time sharing with them, learning about them. One guy, he had just gotten off the plane, and we picked him up in the truck. We were all riding in the truck going into town, and he just turned to me. First thing he said, "Tell me about your testimony. How were you saved?" And it was just such a great thing to be able to share with each other. And have just sweet fellowship with people that, again, I may never see again in my life. And yet we're all coming together to work for unsaved people to receive the Bibles, and for saved people that needed the Bibles as well. That was just such a great time for me. The second one was God's provision. We talked about all the different plans that Tim had to go through. He went through all the U.S. alphabet and had to start the Greek alphabet. And it really did. Every time we would turn around, something would change. The boat was supposed to be there 2 weeks earlier, and it didn't make it until we got there. And then, having all the other things happen. And yet, through all those things, our timetable was just really squished. And yet, God kept the rain away. It usually would rain most every day. And He kept that away so that we could get out and do everything we needed to. We got all the schools there on the East Malaita got done just a week or so after the three of us had to leave. And they got all the schools done. So all the schools on that island had received some kind of a Bible gift to them. And, roads didn't stand in the way, though they tried. And, we talked about not telling the next plan out loud if we were on whatever plan we were, not saying the next plan out loud, because then Satan would hear it, and we were trying to confuse him because he kept trying to throw different things down our path. And so Tim would give, diversion plans, or, try to throw him off track or whatever. But really, God provided in every aspect of the trip when we didn't think we could do it. I did talk with a local guy on that 12-hour boat ride, and I told him what we were trying to do. There was a little language barrier there, but he kind of grinned. And so I said, "You don't think we can do it?" And I still don't know whether he said yes or no because of the way they answer questions. But I'm pretty sure he said no, and then kind of just grinned at me like, "You'll find out." And but through all those things, we were able to get everything done. God really provided for us as far as lodging out in the middle of the bush. And it was wonderful to see how God provided for us and helped us get to all these places that we were trying to get to. And then the third thing, which is probably one of the greatest things for me, was the need they had and the thankfulness they had to receive the Bibles. You heard a little bit on the videos and from Pastor Reese about many of them did not have a Bible. There was first no way to get a Bible. I mean, you can't just walk down to a store and buy a Bible there. And then most of them, they lived by just farming, and that's all they had. And if they could grow a little extra, they could take it to market and maybe try to get their kids to school. And that was about all the money they ever got. And so for them, one guy said, maybe a few in a village would have a Bible, they're so expensive and they're so hard to get. And we had, many, many Bibles, and we had people trying to help us carry the Bibles for us and ask for just one Bible, for helping us carry boxes of Bibles on a 45-minute hike through the jungle or whatever. And all they wanted was a Bible. And to just see how they were just so desperate for God's Word. And when the kids would get it, they would just open it and start thumbing through it and start reading. It was just so great to see. And one story in particular, on the third day when we were on the boat, we went to one school and we met the principal there, and he walked with us back to the boat dock. And so he asked us where we had been, and he asked us if we had been to this certain school, and I can't say the name again. It starts with an N, but that's all I can remember. And asked us if we had been there, and I said, yeah, we just hiked into that school the other day. And he said, oh, great, that's where I'm from. And as I put all the pieces together, I remember talking to a guy at that school, the one that started with an N, and he said, I remember I was in 6th or 7th grade the last time we saw people get Bibles into us. And that was in 76, I think he said. And so putting the two and two together, the man that was a principal at the other school growing up, he had never seen a Bible his whole time in school. Never. He'd never seen a Bible. And it was amazing to be able to have that privilege to be able to go and share God's Word. It was hard at times, and yet we saw God's provision getting us there. But it was just great to see their desire for God's Word and to be able to hand that to them, knowing that most of them would take it home and just start reading it and learn from it was just really a great blessing to me. So, Ken?